If you want to be able to get any girl you want, you have to understand hypergamy. And in this video, we're going to get into exactly what hypergamy is and how you can use it to get any girl you want. Now, before we get into that, my name's Keefe and I made this channel to build better men. So if you're a guy who's out there who's looking to level up and become a high value man, hit the subscribe button and bell icon. I put out new videos every single day to help you do exactly that. So what is hypergamy? Hypergamy is the tendency in women to look for a man who is of a higher sexual marketplace value than they are presently. It's also the tendency that causes a woman to look for the best sexual option she can find, even if she's with another guy already. Essentially, hypergamy is the thing that drives women to find the best partner, best sexual option to reproduce with so that she can have the best possible offspring. Now, hypergamy tends to get a bad rap from guys in our modern world. They blame it for all the cheating and they get really bitter and resentful towards women. Honestly, I think this is just because the guys who are upset about it, they see themselves as the losers of hypergamy. Maybe they've been on the short end of the stick where a woman left them for another guy, whatever the case is, but you have to understand this from the biological perspective, from the woman's perspective, okay? And none of this is completely conscious, right? It's not like she's walking around thinking about hypergamy. It's just hardwired into her the same way it's hardwired into you to like a fat ass, okay? So basically, from the perspective of the woman, from a biological perspective, if you were a weak, emotional man who couldn't get the job done, who couldn't provide, who couldn't be strong, then she was screwed, and so was her offspring. And this has been this way throughout time. Today, it's a little bit easier, but even still, if you're not strong, if you're not hard, if you're not on your purpose, what does that say about the children you're going to produce? Ultimately, it's just important to understand that hypergamy is a survival mechanism. And if you were a weak man, even as recently as 100 years ago, it meant death for a woman. So you have to understand this and not be upset about hypergamy. Ultimately, I think most guys are upset about hypergamy because in their eyes, they see themselves again as the losers in the hypergamy game. They think that the woman is going to cheat on them. They think that it's going to be used against them rather than looking at it from the perspective and thinking, how can I use hypergamy to my advantage? And that's what we're getting ready to get into right now. Now, in order to use hypergamy to your advantage, you need to know what it is the woman's looking for so that you can display that, so that you can work on that part of yourself. The first part we're going to get into is the mindset. What is your internal frame of mind? That's the important question. Again, understand that throughout time, a weak emotional man meant death for a woman. So if you're displaying those qualities, if you're not training yourself, if you're not being confident, then you can't be upset if that turns the woman off, because in her brain, subconsciously, this equals death. This equals a weak man who's not a good provider and protector. So what qualities do you need to focus on in your internal state? Things like confidence, things like having a frame, which we talked about in yesterday's video. I'll put that up in the card section right now. Things like being non-needy, having purpose and ambition and drive, not being able to be shaken off what you're doing, okay? She needs to know that throughout life, you're the stable one, because women are emotional. They're more dominated by their emotions than men. So if you can get knocked off center, that's a problem. You need to be internally strong. You need to be on your masculine purpose, and this resonates through to the woman, and this is what she's looking for in a mindset. And keep in mind, with all these internal qualities, these aren't things that you go around telling the woman, right? Like approval seeking for it, basically going around, hey babe, just so you know, I'm on my purpose. Like, that's not it. It's supposed to resonate through, because when the mindset is in the right place, you act different, you behave different, you have different results in your life. So allow these things to resonate through by training them. And these are things you can train into yourself. One thing I recommend if you want to train a different mindset into yourself is go on your phone, and you'll see in the alarm section, you can schedule an alarm, and then you can change the name of the alarm. So you could have an alarm go off 3, 4, 5 times a day, and the alarm goes off, you read it, the title says, what is your mindset? Asking yourself that question, and it's just a check for yourself. It's like a trigger to let you know to get your mindset back on the right state, because otherwise throughout the day you're going to fall back into your normal needy, weak kind of programming. But if you can remind yourself on a regular basis to feel confident, to act confident, to think confidently, to be on your purpose and all these things, then it will become a natural part of who you are. The next part we're going to get into is protection. There's that old saying, women look for a man who can provide and protect. When it comes to protection, basically this comes down to your ability to handle outside circumstances. This is often described as perhaps a physical attack from another man, another tribe, but it could also be financial disaster hits. A market crash happens. Are you capable of protecting in that situation? Natural disasters occur. Look, it's not like you got to stop a hurricane from happening, right? But when those situations come around, are you mentally strong enough to make good decisions, to protect, right? Perhaps it's like, a tornado's coming. Can you take a leadership role in that traumatic situation where everyone's scared and you say, all right, everybody go into the safe room, or let's get out of here, whatever it is. Are you capable of making leadership choices in those situations? Are you capable of being resilient and resourceful in times of struggle? This is about being able to protect. So ask yourself, are you the guy who's mentally capable to handle these situations? And if the answer is not an emphatic yes, you need to do some work. Maybe you need to learn about how to handle stressful situations and be a leader in stressful situations. Ask yourself, are you physically strong? Are you capable, if something happens, of being a man in those difficult situations? Finally, ask yourself, are you ready and capable of handling the adversity of life? The next area we have here is providing, the other part of provide and protect. The question to ask yourself here is, do you have the ability to provide up to the level of expectation for the woman and hers and yours offspring that you will have? Now, this is going to be different from woman to woman, right? If you're trying to talk to Kylie Jenner, you probably need $1 billion. If you're talking to some girl from the hood, you probably only need $20,000. I don't know. So that comes down to preference, right? And it needs to be clear on what it is you're looking to have. And I'm not saying that women are all gold diggers and you should go look for a gold digging woman. But again, understand from a biological perspective, how can a woman who throughout all of time until this modern era that we're in right now, if she gave herself to a man sexually, she was risking pretty much incapacitating herself for the rest of her life. Because if she has a child, she has to take care of this child. There's no daycares and things like that. And so she needed a man that she knew if she gave herself to that guy, he could provide and protect. It just makes sense. So don't get upset about it. I had somebody leave me an Instagram message a few days ago asking me if all women were just gold digging cheaters, and he sounded so resentful. And the whole thing is like, I understand that mindset when you've been hurt, but you've got to get past it and recognize that we all have our needs, we all make mistakes. And at the end of the day, there's nothing wrong with the fact that a woman wants a man who can provide for her. Same way there's nothing wrong with the fact that you want a woman who you think is hot. The final area we're going to get into is physical attractiveness. This is less important for women than it is for men. I think most guys have figured this out at this point. Obviously, we're very visual. The woman's got to look a certain way. It's a little different with men, but it really comes down to having a man body, right? Being physically, having the appearance of physical capability, physically being able to assert yourself, physical dominance, things like that. Do you look like your body can do some damage? All right, do you take care of yourself physically? Do you care about your physical appearance, at least some? I'm not saying go be some metrosexual and get your eyebrows done and shit. In fact, that's not my thing. I won't get into that. But all I'm saying is just, do you value it a little bit? Do you have clothes that you like how you look in? Do you, again, look physically capable, physically like a man, right? These are the things you can focus on there. Now, if you're a guy out there who is looking to become a high value man and use hypergamy to his advantage, my Better Man coaching program is accepting a couple more clients. This is my one-on-one program where we work every single week to help you become that high value man who has all the externals of a high value man, the money, the girls, the body, as well as internally feeling like that man, feeling confident, being on your purpose. If this is something that's interesting to you, you can schedule a free consultation with me in the description box below and find out if the program is a good fit for you. Guys, if you got something out of this video, give me a like so I can reach more guys through the algorithm. Hit the subscribe button and bell icon. I'm going to put another video right here that I think you'd like as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later.